Hello everybody, it's 8 o'clock on the 12th of May, it's a Monday, so glad you could all make it. Hello Kurt Curtis, hello Dragon Diffusion, hello Apollonia, and hello Fernicar, Battlecruiser operational. Good evening all. So let's see, Dragon is trying to get Comfy to sing a song, and it's not going well. Kurt Curtis, good evening all indeed. So glad you could make it. Don't forget, if you're watching live or if you're watching later, you can join the Discord. The Discord link is in the description. Right, intro done, out the way. How you all doing? Another week, we start as we mean to go on. So, hey, Full Dive Media, glad you could make it. So, I've got my coffee. I hope you're all sitting down. Don't worry, we haven't got crazy news, but I am going to be working on something a little bit silly. But we're going to look at the Comfy workflows first, alright? Because I'd like to put out some workflow packs on this stuff, you know. The articles are good, but we need to get packs out, basically. Like, I've already got them in the oh, and we've got some more stuff to talk about. I've already got them in the workflow gits. How's the volumes doing tonight, guys? Do you know what? I'm actually going to turn the music down even more. We've been going for 30 something episodes with it on blast, so that should be a little bit quieter. I'm just going to keep going until I feel like it's too quiet, guys, because then you need to be able to hear me, and I think we're scaring people off a little bit with the blasting. So alright, I'm in the middle of like reconstructing all the templates for the live stream and the main channel videos, so until I get all of that sorted, we're going through a little bit of a desert right now. But the irony is the desert has brought fruit. The short system is fully automated all the way up until the end of July, the end of June, at least the end of June. So you know what I mean? I had to kind of slow down with the shorts project because we would have been like, I would have had 3 videos a day coming out until this time next year. And yeah, anyway. Cool stuff. So what are we doing? Let's do a roundup first so we can get this stuff out of the way. First, before we dive into the workflows, narrative buckets. I've put up a a Git repo that contains all the narrative buckets that you need to do the stories which we gave away for free. So the Tower storyline, which is Dungeons and Dragons style comedy. Then we have the Empire, which is sci-fi, one of my crazy sci-fi stories. Collector, which is, I think we made up for a joke on the live stream. It's basically about some he's an alien who wants to sell everyone galactic Bitcoin. So it was all about that silly finance stuff. Then we have Westwick, which is one of the first default narrative buckets. And that is the detective noir. Okay, and then finally we got Moonbase, which is kind of like, what's it called? Yeah, this one used to be called Default, but it's called Westwick, and we've made image models to illustrate these. We've made video models for a couple of them, so there's really a lot to play with and a lot to sort of show as an example of how you can do this yourself. Moonbase, of course, being the final. That one's a sci-fi, Lovecraftian elements. I think there might be another one, guys. I get the feeling that there's another one somewhere. Isn't there a Martian story? See, I'm still collecting them, you know? And also, I have a new secret repo. The new secret repo, there's a couple of them actually, is Lost Tales. And Lost Tales contains, look at the harvesting here, guys. All of these are complete stories which were written early on my, basically I got my little netbook that I wrote them all on and harvested them out. Like, let's see if we can see, like, if we go into 007, it was a 30-page story, guys. So I'm thinking what I might do is yeah, true, I need to put the choose your own story. But the choose your own story is actually based on one of my private buckets, the Jovian and the Paradistro. I've been working on them for like 7 years. They came from previous works, so I didn't give them out for free. But they're up in a private repo, so I can pull them down to any device and start writing. But anyway, right, so yeah, I'm just letting you know I've got all these things to pull from. I'm thinking about using these for those serialization project, because the joke is, you know, the Reader's Digest, you could probably use 10 pen names and fill the book yourself. The whole thing is just you. It's kind of funny. The dandelion concept is featured in Westwick. Oh yeah, I remember. See, it's probably one of these. See, I don't want to lose those early stories because they were really good. And you can see 9 is missing, 5 and 6 are missing, 3 is missing. See, there's a couple missing, so it's all fragmented. I'm slowly pulling it all in. This is one of the reasons why GitHub is so useful, just to organize as well. Got multiple machines. I've probably got more data on, because I was using 3 laptops and 2 desktops to do all of this stuff. So, because I had anyway. It was old machines, and then I got new machines. Anyway, something we're going to take a look at in a little bit is my new radio station. Okay, so give you a preview of that one right here. I hope it works because I haven't even tested it yet. /liveradio.html. And does it work? Yeah, it does. Okay, so that's cool, right? It doesn't, none of the stats or anything like that work, but look at this. This is pretty slick. I like it. And we're going to show you the prompts, I think. Oh wait, no, I don't have the prompt, but I know how to make the prompt. So I'll make the prompt again, and we'll probably do something else. Also, I want to make this into a tins, because I've got a tins for something else, which I've also put up on the site, called swatch.html, which I recently linked in the inside line. Now, basically, there's a lot of stuff you can do with vibe coding. Oh yeah, the radio announcer actually means scuffedepoch.com for anybody listening. You can still get to the old site, but we've changed names. So anyway, it was recent, relatively recent. Thank you, Fernicar, for reminding me. I really need to change that sound sample. Maybe we'll do it tonight. So anyway, swatch beat. It's the same time anywhere on the planet. And I'm not trying to say this is amazing, which it kind of is. It's kind of cool. The only thing I'm showing you is because this shows, like, you can make it with AI and then you can instantly tell if it's right. Do you know what I mean? Because if you make a clock with AI and it has to do all of this stuff, right? If it's not right, it's not right. But this is right. Do you see what I mean? I want to show you the prompt. Let me see. The prompt was shared with me by Mr. Super Fake Name, our partner in crime. So, like I said, this is pretty cool. You got a conversion, so you can turn any time into. So if I wanted to do, like, what time is it now? 8. Well, it's not 8 anymore. It's 8:09, right? So that would be 333 beats. Yeah. And then say I want to turn beats to time. What's 666 in beats? For me, it's 135. No, it's 330. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Ignore that. 1 beat is 1 minute and 26 seconds. Or wait, no, that's the time. Oh yeah, it's the amount of time. My bad, guys. So 333 beats is 7 hours and 59 minutes. Okay. I gotcha. Or no, wait, that is... Now I'm getting confused. Here's the duration calculator. Calm down. So yeah, start beat to end beat, 666 beats. That's 959 minutes. Good times. Anyway, they used to use it to organize meetings. So, like, for example, if I said, everybody, we're going to meet at 333 for 100, that would be this live stream. 8 till 10:30. That's usually what we do. The joke is, you know, you could advertise. I could say, we meet at 333, and it will be 100. Okay, and that is the show. You know what I mean? And then the idea is that everyone in the world can type 333, and it'll, you know, automatically just figure it out. That's the idea, anyway. But this is all done with the vibe code. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm going to show you the prompt. It was the same prompt. Very cool, very cool. Like I say, make really cool looking stuff. It doesn't look like it was made with AI either. Oh, and don't forget, it's got a little thing telling you all about what it is and all of this, and then it doesn't say anywhere that it was like completely forgotten. But the other thing is, if you go into this thing, we've also got themes, we've got alarms, you know what I mean? So it's actually kind of mental, the level, like to the degree to which, and I want to show you how I did that, because it's not just one prompt, it's like a process, but it's the same stuff that we always do. It's the Q&A, but we'll get to that after a brief dive into ComfyUI. Oh yeah, and then also we've got a secret project which I'm going to sneak out the vibe coding session, so hang around, it's going to be interesting. Do I have a preview? Look at this. It doesn't work yet, but it's going to be funny. Anyway, I think it's going to be funny anyway. I got a lot here. I've been using my growth hacking agent to plan this one, and we're going to do it for fun. Which is kind of ironic, because it's like, because I thought to myself, why do I have to get random ads from some thing that you just jump out at me and they're not even relevant, right? Why can't I go and watch ads that will make me laugh or are actually relevant? And I thought, well, maybe we can do it with AI, like an API to AdSense, and just serve up the ads. And just because the thing is, some ads are actually funny, and then maybe advertisers would stop being such dicks and they'd start making funny ads again. Because that was a good era when the ads were like funny. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old. But anyway, what we're gonna do. I also wanted to come up with a, you know, like a funny. So it's giving me lots of advice, like what should the domain name be, what should the thing, and so we're having like a proper back and forth. This is like a brand planning agent which I've got here. The AdTube is the placeholder, but it's not going to be called that because it's probably already owned by some squatter or another site doing exactly the same thing as me. I don't know, it's just for fun. Right. What's that? I was there when Swatch launched Beat Time with a cool flash animation. That's right, Fernicar, and that's why I think that this is actually pretty sweet, because it's not flash, but it kind of looks flashy. I don't know. Let's put it on the dark mode. Dark mode. That's what I already had it on. What about custom? Ugh, no, wait. Neon. Neon. Take me back. Anyway, like I was saying, let's dive into those workflows. So it says Apollo and it's actually not. That's kind of confusing. I'm gonna have to kill this, but this is our control dataset creation tool. So essentially it takes a dataset or images, okay, because we can just transplant the prompts into the prompts folder when we're done, and it essentially is making, using InspireNet RemBG, it's going to make us a whole bunch of different things. So we're going to save the original image in the images folder, we're going to save the mask in the mask folder. The idea is that we're actually going to be running like video through here or large directories of random images, and we're going to harvest all the control nets, the masks, and then further down the depth, the canny, and the pose. Now if you don't have prompts and this is a new set of images, you can just turn on the Qwen 2.5 VL and automatically caption it all, and it'll make sure that the text files match the image files, which is essential, because when we get to the end, I have a project on the old GitHub repos which is called Control Prepare. That comes with two things. One, rename images v2, which you put in the base. You know, you'll have a folder inside your outputs which contains all of these subfolders with all of your images that you've cooked inside. But they have that _0001 underscore dot ping, which Comfy adds to every file. So that's what that script does. You run it, Python rename images v2, and it will run recursively through any subfolders that are in its root when you run it. So that'll strip all of the 01s off the end of the files, and then you can go ahead and actually install this tool, and then taking the path to those folders, right, same path where you put the script, You do a run bat, you obviously put the path into the config JSON right here. Don't forget your double slashes on Windows. You can also remap the folders here, or if in the future when there's actually even more of them, but I'll probably remake the tool. The point is, if you have slightly different naming, capitalization, whatever, you can just remap it. But essentially it's going to create a completely new data set, which is a sextuple. So there are 6 tuples. It's all paired, so you have the image and prompt pair like a normal data set. Then with the prompt is also the mask, the depth, the pose, and the canny. Why am I doing this? So I can filter. So if I say I've got a data set with 100 men and 100 women in various poses, and I want to work on men today, I can pull the pose output, and in the whitelist prompt, because I have a special node that will load these, in the whitelist, sorry, it's blacklist in V1, V2 has a whitelist function instead. So whatever, you put the word woman in, and that's all you get, unless it's the whitelist and it's the other way around. You see what I'm trying to say? So then you've got ability to filter your control net inputs, and then what happens is you start mixing and matching. So you go into text to image with your pre-trained LoRa, and then you take the open poses from a completely different data set, like one of a bunch of people doing Kung Fu. You apply that to your character LoRa in text to image, and boom. If your LoRa was trained correctly, if it's overtrained, it won't do the poses. It'll only do what it knows. But if it's undertrained, it won't be able, it'll kind of like mutate and morph out, right? But if you've got it just right, the Goldilocks zone of conversion, yeah, if you've got your training just right, it will just do any pose, or almost any pose. There are some things which you'll have trouble with, like handstands where the face is upside down. I haven't really seen anyone manage to do that. But the solution is you just you make it, you know, you tell the AI to generate a hand, you know, both hands on the ceiling, and then turn the freaking thing upside down. You do a trick, just do a trick, and then paint the hair, so dangles, stuff like that. But anyway, we're getting into the minutiae. So that's Zenkai Control prepared. The dataset's already up, and there's full instructions, as I say. Once you actually get into the workflow, you will see one of these. So this is an example of Zenkai Control prompt 1. You get the prompt with whichever one you want, okay? And obviously, like as I said, if I was to just take 2 of them, I could take the prompt from one, and then I can take the pose from another. It's that simple, and I can just pick. So I want the bar project pose, but then I want Sharona for the image and the prompt, for example. You do image to image. Well, I wouldn't do image to image. I do text to image with pose. It's the most powerful. It's the most powerful one. The only thing you got to watch out for is when you actually make them, sometimes, like, anime doesn't open pose well, so in that case, use depth. That's my top tip for control map. Alright, so anyway, these are already up on the DJZ nodes, and don't forget you'll need that one as well. But it's all just to get clone away. Okay, so let's see. Oh yeah, of course. And let's not forget, last time on the show, we built and released a step in ComfyUI. It's obviously I didn't make it. I don't want people getting twisted. We just made the workflow, okay? That's all. We just made the workflow. And to be honest, it's based on the example. It's just been like tried, tested, and simplified. Okay? There you go. If you want to run on 8 gig VRAM, we didn't say this yesterday, you can use these startup options. That's untested because I don't have an 8 gigabyte VRAM system. But if anybody else has tried it, it'd be nice to know that that works or not. All you need is one safe tensors, which is really nice. It's got native support, so if you've got the latest Comfy, all you need to do is chuck this into checkpoints, and you can now do music generation. With this workflow here has a latent switch. You can pick true or false, and that will put it into text to song or song to song. And obviously you can just load your tracks. I was loading in like 5-minute tracks, and it was doing it. It was doing it. You know, it wasn't bad. It wasn't as good as the original, but come on, man. You know, this is a step in the right direction. It runs on 8 gigabytes. It's crazy. You can definitely make good background tracks with this. Okay, so again, workflow is in the article. Good times. Next up, Let me guess, it's gone. Am I cooked? Oh no, we're good. So, LTX 13B came out, 0.9.7. It boasts 10, I wouldn't say 10 times, but 15 times the parameters, something like that. And what people are missing here, I think, is that this will train much, much better than the 2 billion parameter version that we had before. So what I expect to see is community fine-tunes coming out which are taking advantage. They might go like 15 billion, 16 billion perhaps. It depends, because this is getting quite large and you don't want it to get too big. In FP8 it would still be around 16 to 18 gigabytes once you fine-tuned like a lot, and that would cost a lot of money. So I'm talking about like a pro level community fine-tune here with a budget, right? Not something that I could do here on a demo stream, That would be like a LoRa, really, not a proper checkpoint fine-tune, right? Anyway, in fact, that's an interesting point. A lot of people forget that. So in case you're new to the space, the difference between a checkpoint fine-tune and a LoRa fine-tune is that a LoRa is a patch on the weights, much, much smaller, whereas a checkpoint fine-tune, you actually do train the entire model for additional steps with new data. It's a bit of a nuanced difference, because it's both training models in a way. Fine-tuning. So anyway, like I say, my results with LTX V13B were basically like this. And I'll tell you why. It's because all I did was slap a mid-journey prompt directly into LTXV, which is not how you use it. Can we get a show text? Is this all busted? Uh-oh. I've been having this issue. Look. Comfy. Comfy, no. Comfy scuffed up. Do I have to restart the server? Watch this. Ready? Oop. Oh no! It's disappeared and frozen. Right, yeah, something's wrong here. Come back out of that. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Kill this. No. Okay, LTX 13B dev 097. Right. Okay, so obviously just a quick one. I'm using my Zenkai image prompt here, and I'm putting the images with prompts directly into the generation. So they're being randomly pulled out of a folder in pairs. Again, it's because I know I'm going to be using the same thing over and over again. There's no point typing it out. So to make sure that it's always the right prompt with the right image, yeah. It's randomized, but it's actually randomized in pairs. So we will get this guy's prompt with that guy's image, and then off it goes, right? But I actually want to improve this prompt system. I think that this is a little bit basic, and we can do better. So let's just blow it out in the nicest possible way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an example here. So let's just pull out of this red team area, and we're going to go into LLM based prompts. That's right, the old classic repo full of prompts and agent code, which if you've not seen it, it's like a bloody gold mine. I put all kinds of stuff in here. Most of it I've forgotten about. So LTX prompt gen, right? So artifacts for projects. Right, here we go. So we have the full examples that came from LTXV on launch. We have project instructions. I think that's for the agents. Ace Hollow FS, because we didn't used to have deep thinking LLMs with the ability to do file system operations, and that's how we did it for months before everyone else. Project manifest is for Claude projects, which I'm not going to be using. So that means I only actually need this one, and this one, and then I can program my agent quite easily. So this is a bunch of examples, okay? And the agent code is basically going to say, use these examples, because obviously they will like zone in on reliable areas of the model weights, and also teach it about form, template structure, cadence, okay, but not the substance. So it's not going to make a bunch of women or prison guards and whatnot like it says here. It's going to look at it like a poetry structure, break it down, and then allow me to use subjects which are aligned to the content to create completely new prompts. One thing that's interesting when we did the analysis is that every single one ends with a scene. The scene appears to be from a film or television. The scene appears to be from a... And there's a number of these suffixes. So the first point of optimization that I can make to any prompt, even just a mid-journey prompt with no other changes, is just to add those suffixes, right? So if we just go back again and take a look at the video prompt system, as you can see, it's here, and we already did the analysis and broke it down, so I don't need to do it again. All I have to do is take a quick look-see here, and you can see type classification. Now, did I list them all? I don't think I did, but it will be able to make them on demand. So the scene appears to be real-life footage. So the first thing I could do is just add that without any other sort of advanced stuff. So we'll just use text concatenate from the was suite, and we'll go poke into there, and then off of there I'll just get a text box, or a primitive is fine, doesn't really matter. Copy that string in and poke it in there like that. Okay, so then we've got a sequence going like this. Okay, and let's just solve that there real quick. There we go. All right, so now what we've got, now it's probably still going to crash, all right? I don't know why it does that. But essentially, we're going to throw this through. Obviously, any prompts that contain references to like still images, photo, image, pictures, going to just replace that for video. That's how you get the wonderful token videotography or something. Was it videography? Yeah, videography? No. Video realistic. I love that one. So let's run through. Oh, one more thing. I use my image size adjuster v2 to convert the image to SD, not SDXL, because SDXL is actually too big for the native generation of the model. A little bit, just a little bit too big. Okay, you might disagree, and you might be right, but I find that using SD, you get good results, and it's going to upscale it at the end anyway. So yeah, it does mean that your input might be shrunk a little bit. Might be shrunk just a little bit, but it will automatically change the aspect ratio from vertical to horizontal depending on what the input is. The only thing I've changed on here from defaults is 32, because most models, video models, prefer 32, not 64. Other than that, this is just going to automatically make sure that your aspect ratio is divisible by 32 on the longest edge. I think both sides actually. And that will optimize the generation for tiling, and then it will do its best to crop. There will be some cropping, okay, but you actually control that with whatever image resize node you want. This node doesn't actually do any resizing, it just does the math, and then it pushes the math on to whatever tool you use. I use this one, but I know there are many, and as long as it has a width and a height input, you can just go ahead and use the one you like best. Okay, that's the only non-standard stuff that's going on here, I think. Apart from that, I've obviously got my project file path generators, so you'll find the files in the Zoda folder with your project name. So remember to change the project name to the subfolder, so then you don't just get like 1,000 videos in one folder crashing your Windows out. Right here though, they'll all be in subfolders, so it's all divided up. So that means, like, you know, the upscale video, which doesn't have a save on it for some reason, epic fail. This one doesn't have a save on it either. That's even better. Do you know what? I think this must be like a partial save or something, because I definitely did that. So that's it. Control Shift V. Type them in. And then just change. So this one is extend. See what I mean? It's already set up with the extend. This one is actually initial. Yeah, something's gone funky here. That should say LTX. But obviously you can do your own paths however you want. But this one is the extend. So we'll go LTX, and then the final one is the upscaler, which is now built in. It's kind of cool. This is essentially like my It's a lot like my companion tool in a way, because it doesn't. There's actually a noise thing which I've taken away. For some reason, their noise node, which does, you know how I add like noise special effects to a lot of my outputs? They've got one, which is really good. LTX noise, no, grain, film grain. Check it out. So this is this is like one of our nodes. It's great. I love it. It's so cool to see. So they've actually started using this. So basically, they're doing what I do there, but they're doing it with it's really clever. They're doing STG based upscaling, which is something I haven't done, right? But here it is. This is going in the ESRGAN folder with, well, in, you know, the upscalers folder. There's two of them, temporal and spatial. I've used the temporal with good success at the moment. And like I said, they started adding this film grain node at the very end, just between the tiled and the save, and I only just noticed. I was like, no way, they're doing the trick, which is cool. I don't think it's as efficient as my one though, because it's like I said, I can do this, and then when it gets to the very end, it crashes out saying you haven't got enough memory for that. So, I mean, to be honest, when I do my film grain, I'm like batching stuff. So, but anyway, let's take a look and see if this actually does anything. I really hope it doesn't just crash out, because sometimes at the moment there's this bug in Comfy where you hit run and nodes just go invisible. Nothing happened. Cool, we're good. Nodes just go invisible and you're like, ComfyUI, but I think we're good. So we'll let this one generate, and while it's generating, we'll have a look and see what's behind box number 3 today. WAN video. Okay, so right now this is the GOAT. I don't care, it just is. For one shot, you've got the best chance of realistic looking motion. If anything, I would say maybe you need to slow the motion down, but we can do interpolation, so that's not a problem. Okay, but right now this is the GOAT, and I'm actually testing it with a combination of my control prompt, which contains the images, you know, for the man and the woman talking in the bar scene, and then I've also got the LoRa, which was actually a video LoRa that we just trained on Civet, and then we're using those two things to do the generation. I'm not sure if I like these settings yet, but maybe we'll have a look in a minute. My only issue with this is that the generation is quite slow. It's not, I think it's about on par with Hunyan, to be honest. Now, we don't have frame pack for WAN right now, so the best you can hope for is sort of like literally on a 4090 with no special speed up tools, you know, like no Sage, none of that, just using SDPA. 4090, Renato, 4090. I'm only getting 49 seconds out of this workflow, which is a real shame, because like I said, and we are offloading. We are offloading to CPU and things like that. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do it like this. Get rid of that. It's just so redundant. Yeah, it's better. But yeah. And I'm actually only using the WAN 2.1 i2v 14b 720p Q6K. So I'm not even using Q8. And we can only get 49 seconds, which is kind of annoying. The nice thing about LTX is you will get 8 seconds at 720p out of it. You will get 8 seconds at 720p. We are testing the extendo workflow here, which is actually only giving 4. It does 2 seconds and then 2 seconds with an overlap. So that's not that great. But we wanted to check it out. The extendo is kind of strange. I think there might be some kind of CPU bottleneck going on. I'm not really sure. But the old LTX was able to do 10 seconds at 720p quite easily. So let's see it. It's not even moving. Let's just save the preview, because sometimes the preview sketches out. Yeah, it is moving. See, the LTX does this sort of stuff. It's like moving layers most of the time. Now, I have managed to get some good animation out of it, but they're rare. That's the problem. Now, obviously, if you're going to leave this on overnight, the fact that it's fast means that actually you can use the law of averages and just collect happy accidents, and it does work like that, but it's inefficient. Okay, it's not the one-shot tool that you've been waiting for. Like I said, long animations, high-res animations, yes, but a lot of the time it's like this. Okay, I will say that it's a little bit nicer quality than the last one we had. Oh, with the addition of this bit to the end. But who knows if it was even being listened to. So with that, we move on to Mr. Wan. So let's see what Wan can do. I just died. Do you know what? When this happens, it hits me hard, man. We're still going to get the video, okay? But I have to, it's, you know, Comfy just took the wheel and disabled all controls. The only thing I can do right now is hit refresh. But lucky for us, the job went through. So let's take another look at that cool radio that I built. 838 beats, ladies and gents. I love this stuff. I think it's really cool that you can do this kind of thing with vibe coding. And like I said, you'll laugh when you see the prompt that we actually used for this one. So obviously you do need to have a radio station running, you know what I mean? It didn't just create the radio station. But if you have a MP3 based stream link, yeah, this prompt will work for you. So obviously I do. So here we have it. This is the same radio we're listening to on the stream right now. Ready? Might be a little bit out of sync, but it's good enough. The 24-hour listening statistics do not work because they don't exist. This was vibe coded. I got that for free without asking. So I'll probably ask him to get rid of it, and then it will break the entire page. It's going to be funny. Okay. Ambient soundscapes. That's not what it is. Okay, so it's it looks like the titles for the tracks are a little bit iffy as well. Can I refresh the page? And oh, right. Okay. It's just going to... It's not even 5 Below 5 radio anymore. It's Scuffed Epoch. This is not canon. But anyway, we're going to go through how you actually make this. It's a super simple prompt as well. I was blown away. Mr. Super fake name coming through clutch with the hard tips. So let me just show you this prompt. Ready for this? Look at this. It's beautiful. You can just stick this in front of almost any idea you can have for a website. So, as you can see here, write a single file HTML using Tailwind style CSS, Chart.js, Alpine.js, and Font Awesome, all via CDN. Only. It's that bit. I wrote the next bit. So, that's the bit he wrote. He gave that to me and I made the beat time thing. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And I was like, I could overhaul the radio station webpage, you know, just make it look a little bit fresher, yeah. So I used the beginning of his prompt right there. Do you know what? I'm just going to copy this into the inside line as we're referring to it. That way it's easy to remember and get at any time. So here we go. Can I pin things to this place? I think I can. I might be maxed out on pins. No, I'm not. There you go. So that's a good one. It's like a... I wouldn't say it's system agnostic because I don't know what LLM you're going to run it with, but you get good results. So all I've said is this project will use the stream link for my internet radio station, insert link, any radio station will do, which is working right now, just so he knows I don't need him to build me a radio station or test any of that. We can create a new radio station page. So I haven't given him any snippets, I haven't given him any like embed code, nothing. And off he goes and he made this. Download the HTML. He made that, which works, okay? And I was like, that's pretty cool. So what did we do next? This is the fun part. This is the bit that I like the most. So there's a couple of ways you can do the next stage. I like to use a Q&A interview format because he will ask you questions about things which you'll forget to mention. So, but I actually did it in a kind of strange way this time. What I did was I already had a report from the previous app and I just included that. So I had the report from the previous app for the beat time thing, and I just changed .beat to track. Beat. I just search replace .beat to tracks. It's the same prompt. We can improve this radio player app .beat app. Animation smooth transitions between .beat changes, track changes. You see what I mean? But anyway, these are the things we asked for, and other high priority improvements, which gives him a little bit of freedom, because sometimes he's sneaky and does placeholder code and doesn't tell you. This gives him the opportunity to fix that. And then you get version 2, which I think is the version that's up. So 2 shots to get all of those, you know, all of these different glow effects and things like that, right? Things of that nature. I've no idea where these links go. Nowhere. It's fine. You can go in and edit that. You can change the title. It's just text. You know what I mean? It's not a problem. But yeah, this is the sort of thing I mean. You know, it's like super simple stuff, which probably took all day reading up and trying to figure out why it doesn't run. You missed the holographic sphere player. Will I add it later? Yes. This is part of an effort to try and actually get all that stuff up and online and linked, because I've been doing so many other different things I haven't had the time to update it all. But now I've got access at home, so when the internet's not crapped out, it's funny, I get an early night when the internet craps out. That's pretty much how it works. Right, so anyway, it does listener count updates, it does hover effects. It's nice. It's nice. Okay, I like it. It's a lot better than the old one. Maybe we can merge the visualizations from those projects. Okay, so that concludes the radio station stuff. Let's go and see how our video guy is coming on. Another 3 minutes, unless it's dead. So let's go on to window number 4. What have we got here? Let's see if I've been... Oh, yes, so this is the big convo. So this is an implementation of Coda Frame Talker. Coda Frame Talker is actually just that bit, okay? But I have duplicated it. So what we've done is we've made groups of person 1, person 2. That's their line. That's their line. Now I've actually made a much better way of doing this since. much better way of doing this. So you don't need... But it does automate the whole thing. I made a much better way of doing this though. But this was how I did it the first time. So it's 2 people having a conversation back and forth. Yeah, the node error doesn't stop the video generation being queued, but then you can't do anything else. So you have to refresh the browser. I don't know why it does that. It's affecting some workflows and I can't tell why. But they're all workflows that were working fine at some other point. So, and they work again as well. Sometimes you have to restart the server, sometimes you have to restart the whole computer. I'm not quite sure what it is. Anyway, so yeah, this is going to be done in 1 minute. Yeah, less than a minute. But yeah, essentially this is a back and forth. Now the reason this is quite nice is if one of the scenes messes up, yeah, so it has like bad lip sync. Now I'll admit I didn't do that for this particular project because I didn't want people to think, oh, he's just done 100 rolls of every scene. I want people to know that the video I'm showing was literally made 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no rejections. You see what I mean? I'm not allowing, it's like a little rule. So the video I'm working on, do you know what? Have we got time to show the video? You won't be able to hear the talking though. We'll try it real quick. Need to go into the outputs. I'll give you a sneak preview. Come on, where is it? It's messing me around with the filtering thing again. It's like, oh, I'm not sure. Okay, wait's that? Bar test? Bar ad? Okay, so this is cheesy. And there's no background audio or nothing. So this is raw output from Coda Frame Talker. So,
have you tried ComfyUI yet?
Now, first of all, before we play this, because I think you can hear that. Before we play this, I want to say a couple of things. So, this is 1080p 60 frames per second, but the aim was to emulate retro TV, SD quality TV. It's actually a really nice effect, and I think I may have overdone it with the VHS noise a little bit, but like I said, anyway, you can fix all of that in post, like I say. So this is straight, no rejections, just everything came out as it came out.
Have you tried ComfyUI yet?
What's it actually used for?
Easy lip syncing for iVideo.
How does it really work?
Matches audio to facial movements.
Is it difficult to set up?
Not with Latent Sync version 1.5.
What makes this version special?
Okay, so at the moment it's like too fast, it's too choppy, but this is like just the raws in sequence. So what I would do is I would actually have a little bit of a black screen in between each thing. Just calm transitions to slow it down. In retrospect, next time I'll do it, I'm going to slow the frame rate down a lot before I do the lip sync, because the movement's really natural, but it's a bit hyperactive. And then also the hang on a sec.
Streamlined workflow, consistent results.
See, it's too fast.
Can beginners use it too?
Very user-friendly.
How's the voice quality sound?
It's too crazy, but I think if I was to slow it down before I did the lip sync, that will fix it. Other than that, it looks pretty natural. We've blown it up here as well, so you can really see the noise, but that's the actual resolution. It might be a little bit, I think it's target 1080. Yeah, I think it's target 1080. Should we find out what it actually is? Where is it? Where are you? It is actually 2080 by 1200, so it's a little bit bigger. So the idea is you'll squish it down a little bit to make it into HD format, which will actually reduce the noise as well. But anyway, like I say, the easier way of doing this is actually to use, we got our scene video, and what you do is you just go Sandy, barman, Sandy, barman, Sandy, barman, Sandy, barman, because it's random anyway. It doesn't matter which one you pick, because it's a bunch of random scenes of people talking, the same person in the same place. So you go, and then you put the line in. So if you sit there with a script, say you've got a script for 2 characters, you've already got rendered videos, like 10 or 20 rendered videos of person talking, just like blah, 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 yeah? And it's 2 people talking to each other in a place. So if I go to the script, Sandy, I put her lines in, I copy her lines in, I click Q. I go to barman, I put his lines in, I click Q. So it's like you literally just change to the character that's talking in the script, put the thing in and go. Obviously you'll want to have predefined voices as well, so you probably want to change the voice. But I don't know, the reason I don't mention the TTS is because I use Kokoro, but you might use XTTS, you might use any other number of TTSs. And again, if you want to use like 11 Labs go for the quality, you can just have a sound like a load node. Do you know what I mean? Then you don't need the prompt. So you would load in the audio of the line and push that into the adjuster for the latent sync. Same thing, because all this does is it has each folder in here is just a collection of characters in a place, so that it's always it's just a variation. You know what I mean? And it's much faster than generating 5 or 10 minutes per shot and then getting cooked when you get a bad generation. This is curated good ones only. Yeah. Because like I said, I want the barman to be talking at the bar. You know, it's the same thing every time but different, and then obviously different line, again different. And if the line sucks, change the seed or just run it again because it's random, right? So it is possible you had a bad seed for the lip sync, so you can just do it again. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Obviously it's gonna, if you have it on random, it'll change the talking head as well. So right, let's see about that. So I can't even zoom in or nothing. So can't even do nothing with it. And there's no save. I don't think there's a project node on it, or if there was, it's invisible. It's complete chaos. Let me just see if I can find that video it's just made real quick. Output. Let's see. This was WAN. Oh man, I don't even. Right, just refresh the page and find out what the save path was. Ah, nothing. So it's just in the root. Oh, there it is. So that's what we got from WAN. I think you'll agree the movement's much, much, much better. And remember, this is only 16 frames per second, okay? So it's actually like half frame rate, which is why it's probably a little bit faster than Hunyan, which is rendering at 24. But yeah, like I'm saying, we can take this video and do stuff with it. So let's just save that for now. Okay, we've already talked about Extendo. Oh wait, no, it's not Extendo. We've already talked about this, and we've talked about how the next version is going to make it simpler. In the end, I actually just used an image up, like just a normal load image, and I just got rid of all this stuff, and I just used a normal load image node, and I just loaded the image I wanted, put the line in, and let it go in a new folder. And all I did was you know, change the voice, image voice, off it went. But this run went well, like I say, and I got the results and put them through. This should be the companion now, which, as I mentioned, LTXV have actually built this in, so you don't necessarily need this, but mine does a little bit more than theirs. It'd be interesting to put it to the test actually and see the difference. So let's do that. LTXV film grain. I wonder if it can even manage it. It might not even be able to manage it. Okay, so there's your video, son. We'll get a copy of that. Copy and paste. Okay, and then we'll say this one is the LTX companion, right? Not. And then we'll put it to the test. What's that thing? Audio. Okay, well, yeah, sure, why not? So yeah, just in case you missed that part, LTXV comes with a new node called LTXV Film Grain, which is at the end of the workflow on the upscaler side of things. So actually, we also need to do an upscaler. So let's put, oh wait a minute, but I didn't upscale this. Whoa, I didn't upscale this with their upscaler, so that's not really fair. It's not a good comparison. So we're only really comparing the noise. Okay. So that we can see what the noise looks like. Oh wow, that is a lot of noise. God damn. Oh my god. Like mine, all of the effects I put on, what does mine look like? I'm gonna put these next to each other. See, look. Theirs versus mine. Because I do a CRT effect followed by a VHS effect followed by a film grain changes over time. Now you won't be able to see the overtime effect because we're only doing 1 frame. But yeah, my noise is like way subtler, but his is sharper, I think. His has definitely got more sharpness than mine. I can't believe that he does that. It must be turned down or something. It must be that they turn it down in the official workflow from the default value that they've got here. Because that's crazy amount of noise to put onto a... I think it's actually a lot lower than that. It's got to be like 0.2 or 0.10 on the saturation. Let me just see if I can tweak this a minute. Because that's actually like way too much grain, guys. But hey, that's the default. What am I going to do? What's going on? Did he actually do it? There's no way. There's no way. What? That's still that strong? I mean, okay. Maybe it's because this image is so small right now, and it will stretch out over a higher res image, in which case... I will do for fun. We'll use... Ooh! There's no way. There's no way. Yeah, I thought so. I had to try it. I thought, what happens if we use the temporal upscaler, but you need more frames. Oh, look at that. Using my photographic upscaler, which turns everything into trees. You can even see the trees a little bit. Turns everything into nature photography if you zoom in. Wow, it went up to 1920 by 338, and then can I see any film grain? Nope. So now put it back to 0.50. All I'm doing is making it larger to see what the effect of the grain was on the larger image. And that's pretty cool, actually, don't you think? It's not bad. Wow. It's not bad. Not bad. Very blurry. I wonder what happens when I do that to mine. It's crazy. 4x the frame. Ooh. Ah, my version is sharper somehow. I know it is because the sharpening, if you turn your head to one side, you can see a tree just outside my house. Look, blue sky, tree. I used to climb that tree when I was a kid. Man, it's such a joy to break the ESR GAN for artistic stuff, because you're going back here and it just looks like he's got a funny material. Do you know what I mean? But if I actually printed this out full size, you could stand here and you turn your head to one side and you can literally see a tree growing up with blue sky, white clouds. And then if you look at his shirt, turn your head to the left, there's another hedge. What else? Is his face made of bushes? Yeah, look at his haircut. That's a tree at sunset in a field. That's a tree at sunset. And then up here, look at these up here in the top left corner. I don't know, I hope you can make this out because of the compression. I'm just going to post this. I'm just going to post this in images because this is great. Look, that's a hedge and that's sunset. But then here we've got a completely different sky. It's like patched completely different skies from different. That's like an orange sunset with loads of little different stripes in the clouds. I bet if you actually looked at this full scale, hang on, let's yeah, we already saved it, right? And first things first, let's just post it so everybody else can take a look at this. And this is what happens when you train ESR GAN on a very small data set. Okay. So let's just drop this in there. I wanted to see if I could make images out of my images. Okay. And yeah, it worked. It's pretty cool. So yeah, if I just get this over here, can we do full screen? I just wanted to see, can I get, yeah, I can. See that? Check it out. Those are trees from my photos. They're literally from my photos. It's amazing. Like that is the edge of a hedge or the edge of a tree. Poking through, looking at the sunset. Okay. Just here, it looks like a plane in the sky, maybe? I can't remember if I ever took a picture. I think I did, though. And look, even his shirt, it's branches, dude. It's branches at sunset in silhouette. Oh, yeah, and then here, this one. Look at that. Can you see it? You got to kind of turn your head to one side, but it's there. That's right. Oh man, this stuff, I just loved it. I love this stuff. Is there any way you can see? His hair is also very obvious. Like if I just zoomed in on that, you'd be like, what are you looking at? There's trees at sunset, man. Anyway. Right. Next. Let's get rid of all this nonsense down here. We're not even going to do that anyway. I mean, no, it's got a bunch of upscaling nonsense in there now. We need to get rid of that. Get rid of that. We don't want to do that. It'll go nuts. And to be honest, I think that the noise is... I'd have to upscale it. I can't really compare that, so it's not going to be fair. I'm not going to do it. It needs to be fair. So I'd need to like find an output. What? I'd need to find an output that actually wasn't noised, and then one that was, and then we could do a fair test. But yeah. Anyway, that's what this does. So did we do it? Yeah, we did it. We did it. And as you can see, it's still, the frame rate's too crazy, but that's zoomed in. So you go to here. I think it has a natural look to it. But yeah. Impasto, zoom in. Yeah, I was hoping that we could train another Realia Sargant model with different focused styles to give a similar effect. Yeah, that's what I was hoping. But it's all like, I had to go, right, that's cool, put that on the shelf next. You know what I mean? Because time, right? Like, we've just done an hour on catch-up and workflows, you know? I haven't done anything yet. I guess I've shown a bunch of stuff off, but... Alright, so that would be a time that I call coffee time. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to get some coffee. And then we can continue. It was the bean. Bean or leaf. Choose your destiny. But yeah, basically, next up, we're going to be taking a look at the radio station and how that was made. And then we'll jump into the new AdTube project. I think it's pretty cool, but it probably won't work for stupid reasons. Probably we'll have to wait. Usually what it is you have to like do a 24-hour check period before they'll let you in for AdSense stuff. But the idea is I want to serve up ads for no reason. I just want you to be able to go, oh, I want to see ads about cars. Click on category. My idea is just to rip off the original YouTube look. So it will look dated, but that's on purpose. It's kind of like a statement. I don't know. Because like I said, YouTube intrudes with ads all the time, but I can see a bunch of reasons why you'd want to go and find ads. Like, what if you're a reaction tuber and you want to react to ads? You can't really do it. Another thing as well, like, just like, I don't know. I just think it's an interesting way of doing it, rather than like trying to, hey, do you want this? And you don't. Let people go and find it. You know what I mean? I don't know. Some ads are funny as well. You've never seen an ad on YouTube. Yeah, you probably run an ad blocker, but that's like a whole thing on its own as well, right? Ad blocking. But the point is, if they didn't try to, you know what I mean? If the ads weren't intrusive, you wouldn't need to block them. And the reason they're intrusive is because it works. You see what I mean? But if there was another way, right? Say an ad came out and it got 4 million views on some website. They probably wouldn't bother putting ads in, you know what I mean? Because they'd be like, well, hang on a minute, why are we... Because obviously the conversion rate is crap. Because people don't, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you're advertising women's deodorant to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's always something completely useless. And so they've been trying to do this content ID and preference matching for years. And so I thought, what's that? Will the ads be real ones, or will they sell the space truck from Thora? Well, the thing is, I actually want, because I actually think it would be easier, because AdSense allows you to just display ads, right? So technically you just get access to all the ads on the platform. But I don't know. But I'm assuming it's that simple, so I'm just like, well, you just make a YouTube categorization, like, here, look. So, let's jump back in. So, oh man, let's just move it a little bit over. There we go. So it's just based on the old YouTube template. The idea was to have it so there's like rankings, yeah? So like the ads that people watch most get highest, and you can see what I'm doing. I want to gamify the advertising, and what will happen is they'll have to compete for the top spot, and then it turns into this competitive game where if you're like not appealing to the consumer, you just will go to the bottom because you get ratioed. And I just think it's kind of a little bit of a... It's a little bit of fun. Yeah, you have to make a good ad, basically, because right now, is there any ads rating system? Is there? No. So they can just do whatever they want. They can, like, make this stuff which is just not even about the product at all, and you're just like, what was this even about? So I'm not even talking about, like, you know, political stuff. I'm just talking about just ads. You're like, what even is this for? And I think that it's an interesting idea anyway. It's probably not allowed. I bet you'll probably find out that you're just not allowed to do this. You know what I mean? That's usually what happens, because somebody else would have done it, right? But anyway, we're going to have a go. So what I want to do is get the proof of concept working before I commit to a domain name, obviously, because you could have 20 of these and it wouldn't matter what the domain name is. I've just called it AdTube as a working title, right? There's only one page. It's just a template. None of this is real information, okay? It's literally just a layout template, so I can sort of show what the hell I'm talking about now. The idea is that there would actually be a video embedded or a thumbnail you can click on that would take you to a page, a lot like YouTube or something. And on that page, if the advertiser has opted in, there could be comments. But I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe I'd give them an opt-out, so then they have to contact us. Yeah. Anyway, either way, what I'm saying is it would literally just filter and display by category, and then the rating system and the view count would rank them. And then there would be like trophies. See, one of the things that early YouTube did was they did trophy systems. So like you could get top automotive in June, right? And then it would be on that video forever. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And like people can do like a 5-star, 1-star, 5-star rating system. Yeah. And it's not just like this, like I go back to stars and views, right? Isn't sponsor system the same? You fight to be there, kind of, but I wouldn't allow them the ability to buy into it. Yeah, I wouldn't. This isn't like oh, and then we'll let them pay 10k and they can be at the top. No. This isn't that, right? The idea is that they live and die on the merit of their content, just like everybody else on social media, right? And because the thing is that they're not paying me. Do you know what I mean? They're not paying me. I'm not. It's just AdSense, yeah. We're just literally plugging in AdSense, and if people watch it, we get a percentage of the ad, obviously. But that's not the game. The game is to try and create an alternative system where you can go and get the ads you want. It's just a different idea I had a long time ago, yeah. But anyway, we're going to vibe code it for fun. So what I've done is a little bit crazy. Let's do the radio first, because that... No, there's no prompts there. So we've already done enough on the radio. You understand the radio. It's the same concept here. So full screen. We're in VS Code. Welcome everybody. I'm so glad you could make it. Don't forget to like the stream, hit subscribe, hit that bell. There's so much content coming out. We've got main channel videos coming more sparsely now, but plenty of shorts which are pointing to these live streams which come out every day at 8 p.m. UK time. Okay, AdTube dev. So this is a bit of fun. So let's just show you the plan. It all starts with AdTube plan. Okay. So what I've done is I've had a chat with an LLM to make a bunch of plans. This is a slightly different idea here. So we've got a bunch of different plans, right? And they are planning like all of the different elements of what we're trying to do in detail, right? And look at this, it's got a 12-month growth plan, guys. Okay, it's actually insane, telling me what to do. You know, oh, you got to have this, da, da, da. But we're not going to do some of this stuff. There's not going to be, do you know what I mean? We're not doing that. Because when I started this off, it was literally like make a YouTube clone for ads, right? And then the advertisers would put their ads on the platform. But then I was like, hang on a minute, you can just use the AdSense API and just they've already done all that. So anyway, the strategy. Yeah. So the strategy is it's a curation ranking system where Google's ad network provides content while platform adds value through discovery, ranking, and community features. It sounds crazy, but I think it would work because, like I said, there are some really funny advertising reaction channels and all kinds of stuff like that. So what I would do is I'd be like, you can go ahead and use this content transformatively, blah, blah, blah. But no slander, etc. Don't break the law, etc. Right. So it's nothing like it's the same as anything else. But I'd be like pro community. I don't know. But yeah, all of this stuff is kind of like just like pie in the sky until it actually works, right? But yeah, it shows all these different features. It's really gone for it, guys. I'm not going to lie. It's really gone for it with this one. And then it gives us our thing. So the first thing we have to do is actually implement a basic AdSense unit. Now, I'm pretty sure that should be straightforward. But what I decided to do was, one, make a template, HTML, which is what you're looking at. That's the one I was showing off. This is the initial template anyway. And then we have the index v3, which is what I was showing, which has got like external styling and all this stuff. There's also a dev roadmap and a v4 roadmap, which is the next evolution of the website. So all these different things it's going to add, you know, pretty crazy. And like I said, the bit that I want to look at right now is this bit. This is the bit I need to do next, which is basically like website. You know, now obviously I've got a website and I've got an AdSense account, so I'm not going to do this like right now. And by the way, that's just numbers, guys. But yeah, it's interesting to me because I can remember 20 years ago we used to put ads all around everything, and then you'd like try to get traffic and people would click and you'd make a bit of money on the side. It was like an old passive income thing that people would do, and that kind of all just got centralized. And I was thinking to myself, wouldn't it be nice if you could just look up, I only want to watch ads for Porsche tonight, and I'm just going to put them on the side while I'm working, and I'm just going to look up and it'd be like Porsche every 10 minutes, or, you know. The idea of being able to pick what you want to look at is, I want a buffet of ads. And so when I feel like watching ads, I can just go and find the ones I want easily. I don't think there is anything like that. And if there is, go ahead and tell me in the chat, because there's enough of you guys here for us to discover this. But yeah, it's like a simple idea. I'm sure it's got to be out there already. But I also think it's quite a fun little coding challenge, right? Because we actually have to integrate it with an API for the analytics. The rankings have to be done. That means database stuff. Now I can run MySQL on the server where the website is. That's not a problem. But there's a lot of moving parts here. You know, it's not the sort of thing that you could just do in one prompt. Well, maybe you could. Maybe we'll try it in a minute. Because the thing is, I've got all the information here, haven't I? But there is a point where you have to like go and actually get the codes, set it up. And in fact, I think I've got, look here. So, where is it? AdSense approval. Your site must be approved. So there is an element of you've got to actually set it all up and then wait. You know what I mean? So it's not like, I can just go and do it now and it just works. No. Got to put my actual ID in. I do have one because obviously being a YouTuber, when they partner you up, you have to go and create one of these. But I don't do anything with it. Do you know what I mean? So I thought, hey, maybe we can do something with it. That'll be interesting. Anyway. It might be really interesting as well. I wonder if AI YouTubers are placing ads, because the thing is, that would actually show up, you know? Because if you did a filter in the AI category, it'll show you all the AI ads, and obviously there's going to be, that's useful because there's companies promoting new services all the time. That's good for discovery, right? Typically, if someone's doing a big advertising campaign, they're trying to, you know, pull people in to check out their new thing, right? And sometimes the noise will stop you from actually finding out about that. So there is an element of sort of intelligence here, because there's a lot of people trying to advertise, and you can't filter the ads to your interests. It will say, oh, we do content ID matching. I'm like, so why am I getting Jaguar ads? Like big pink Jaguar ads. What's that about? You see what I mean? I'm never going to buy a big pink Jaguar, right? So the point I'm trying to make is, it's like, there's a better way. It's called opt-in. It's called preference searching, filtering, subscribing. Notify me when there's a new Subaru advert. You know, look, if I'm interested in Subaru, maybe I do want to see their new advert. You see what I mean? And for some reason, they just can't figure this out. They're just going with the mass numbers. So, anyway, it's, like I said, it's a little idea that balloons out, isn't it? But it's just really simple. Ads tube. It sounds like cringe, because people used to say, oh, YouTube is becoming ad tube. And I was like, always thinking to myself, hang on a minute, what if there was one of those? Anyway, if Google build one next week, you'll know they're watching the stream, guys. If this suddenly appears, yeah, because it's spooky how much of my stuff appears. Do you know... Well, is this where you get to see more of your credentials? Yes, it is, yes. Dragon says, do you know who is the most effective advertiser in the world? And you'll never have seen their ads. Well, this is the other thing as well. Like, there would be a ranking system, which is kind of insane. I don't think there's ever been an advertise. Well, there might be internally, like if you pay to be in marketing, maybe they've got access to that kind of data. But I think it would be interesting to have an independently collected stats thing, which is like ranking them, you know. And then if bad ads get ratioed, maybe they stop making them. Imagine that. I'm just saying, like, at the moment there's nothing, is there? Like, what? Like, what do they do? Use TV stats? There's like a very small number of people who have a tracking box on their TV. Like, nobody watches TV like that anymore. It's crazy. Rolls-Royce have the most targeted ads in the world. Well, yeah, it might be that it's so complex to do a campaign on Google that a lot of companies just do defaults and they don't really know what they're doing. So maybe it's just that it's actually complex to run a good campaign on there. And the reason the ads are actually so crappily targeted is because they didn't even do any of that bit. Do you know what I mean? Just, run defaults, pay this much, you know? Because if it works, it works. They don't care, right? I don't know. But anyway, I'm not like a marketing guy. I just thought it would be fun because, like I said, if I can get the API to work, it will just fill my website up. I'll just have videos because, you know what I mean? It's weird, like, there are loads of ads. You might even end up finding secret ads that no one's seen before because they're just coming out of an API, like random ads. There was some campaign that's down on tier 100 and you'd never see it. And now you can just go find it, you know? I think what would be even cooler, right, is you actually have a bunch of like golden raspberries for like the worst ones, yeah? So then they're even getting awards when they're bad. They get awards for being good, they get awards for being bad, and then you've got like a hall of fame. Because this is the thing, the AI could generate all of this code and just have it just made, you know? You can just have all this stuff. Make me a new page with a hall of fame that pulls the data from the database, because it's going to be a database driven thing, right? So that's how I imagine it working. Obviously there's a lot to figure out, as in the tracking could be complicated, but what if you can just use Google tracking as well? Because one thing that we're finding now, which is, let's see, have I got the initial prompt? No, I don't have the initial prompt. If I had the initial prompt, I could have showed you. Like, I used the same prompt which I posted on the Discord, actually. Let's just go back there and I'll put it up on the screen. So I started off with the same prompt. which we, yeah. Write a single file HTML using Tailwind style CSS chart JS, Alpine JS and font awesome obvious CDN only. I didn't make this one with that one, but this was where my mind was at. I was working on this kind of thing. I didn't do the Tailwind chart Alpine and thought, I just did CDN and said I want a 2007 style YouTube parody which just serves ads. That's it. There's no content, just ads. And then I said, I wonder how far we can go with this one, you know what I mean? But when you think about it, it's just SQL. It's just a bit of SQL. The hard part is going to be the AdSense integration and whether or not it's even allowed, because they might turn around and say, you can't just serve ads. There's got to be some content. There's got to be something. And if I say, oh yeah, we're going to rate you, they'd probably be like, no, you're not. And then take away your AdSense, you know what I mean? Or tell you to stop it, right? I wouldn't be surprised, you know? In fact, should we find out? Where's the AdSense terms of service? I bet it's too long for a bloody... it won't be too long for Gemini. Okay. Where's the terms at? Going to analyze that. Terms. Where are the terms? Terms. Terms of service? No, I need the ads terms. This isn't... No. Analytics. Think with Google. Okay. Google Site Kit. No way. Do they have a fan kit now? AdSense for shopping. AdSense help forum. Where's the agreement? The thing. What's this? Site kit for WordPress. Oh, you get analytics, guys. Free analytics and free ads. Maybe I should just overhaul my template and use WordPress. Hang on. It's been a long time since I've used WordPress. Learn how to AdSense. Thingy. Okay, AdSense terms. AdSense policies. Don't tamper with the code, they said. Eligibility requirements. Program policies. That's probably the one, isn't it? Program policies. Make sure your page is ready. Eligibility. Owning. Using other ads if you want to have more than one. Right, so what's it say? Your content must be... see? I think they might have actually screwed me over and I can't do this. Let me just find out. So in order to get video, AdSense site approvals video series. So, okay. Unique content that's relevant to the visitors. Yeah, there's ads. They came for ads, there's ads, right? No, there isn't. See, that's the funny thing. I don't think they want me to just wrap their ads in a like a gamified rating system. I don't think they want me to do this. Let me see. We could just do it and then see if they tell me no. But it might jeopardize the channel, which isn't the goal, even though it's fun. Let me see. Consider the thing. Okay. Right. Your navigation bar might appear like this. Right. Ads may not be placed on sites with scraped or copyright content. But there is no scraped or copyright content. It's just a framework that displays ads and nothing else. I think I'm not allowed. There's no actual terms here, by the way, either. It's just a bunch of, like... This is nothing. This isn't anything. User experience guidelines. When you sign up, we recommend to review the pages. Do they have... Ready? Refining. Man, they've tightened this up like hardcore. Maybe just go to a different advertiser. I bet there's, like, well, they kind of got a monopoly on it, don't they? So publisher policies, maybe that's what I need. Publisher policies. So we do not allow illegal stuff. Cool. No intellectual theft, cool. No dangerous stuff, no animal cruelty, no misrepresent. Yeah, none of this applies. We do not allow deceptive. Well, I don't think it's deceptive. Dishonest behaviour. No. Mail order brides. Bloody hell, they actually have to put that in there. That means it happened, by the way. If they have to put a rule in, that means it probably happened. Getting a mail order bride off of YouTube. Crazy. Ads interfering. Inventory value. I don't see anything. Oh, wait a minute. Adjacent to navigational or other actions that may lead to unintended ad interactions. Oh, that's tricking people into clicking on it. That's not the same. Replicated content. And with embedded, we do not allow Google Ads with embedded or copied content from others without additional commentary, curation, or otherwise adding value to the content. That's a bit iffy. Might not. More ads. They don't allow more ads. Oh, wait. Here's some terms. Oh, man. There's loads of it. I don't think there's anything there. Okay, right. Let's ask the Oracle. Oh, Oracle of Wisdom. I need an answer. We can assess the viability of a dedicated video ad platform with viewer ratings and awards, etc. for using AdSense by reviewing these terms. Go. You have a throwaway channel for Crash and Burn. Yeah, me too, but I don't want to mess it. It's, you know, you can just. I'll probably look. If I don't want to do it, I'll just fork the code. I'm not fork the code. I'll just put the public on the repo. Anybody can do it then. So I'm not trying to make people break terms of service. That's not my intent. It's just I think it's a pretty cool idea, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to do it. Mainly because of this stuff. So wait a minute. Platform must ensure sort of not just ads. Yeah, see, not just what. So it's, yeah, they won't allow it. They won't allow it. I'm glad I did this before doing any more. They won't allow it. Okay. Confirm the conclusion. This concept is against the TOS. Damn. That's why no one's done it. It's too easy. Okay, yeah. I'm getting cucked. So, yeah, we're not allowed to do that, guys. As far as I can tell. Might be wrong. Probably there's a way of doing it, like you could make your own upload platform, so you're not just using an API to somebody else's, or you could find a different advertiser. Oh. Okay. List video advertisement APIs alternatives to Google AdSense. No adult content, please. You'd be like all adult content. Go. He'd be like, what the hell is Google? Uh-oh. Is my internet down? No? Okay, Claude's having an existential crisis, maybe. What's going on here? It's making me log in. What? Huh? Alright, Claude's having a minute, guys. We'll get back to Claude later. So yeah, cool concept. Probably not allowed. But what if I can find an open source video advertising API? Ah, so it's not the end of the road. But that's that one done. Update on the DJZ asset pack. GitHub wouldn't let me upload 9 gigabytes of images, which is fair enough. It's fair enough, right? Hosting, there's rules. I didn't actually try to upload anything over 100 meg, so it should have let me do it, but it didn't. And in the end, the manifest was so long, it killed the entire context window, and he literally was like, you must concatenate your prompt. And I'm like, I haven't even got a prompt, mate. It was just you reading all the files again. Yeah. So there's just too much information. You know, we had git ignore, everything else. So that's why this hasn't happened yet. If I have to, I will just do it myself manually. But it is a little bit of a limitation that the agent couldn't figure that out, in my opinion. Everyone goes on about, oh, you got to use an agent to do GitHub pushes, but then they don't work. Once your project gets big enough, don't work. It's too much. He can't juggle, you know. Doesn't know how to batch a job into little bits. So maybe one day soon that'll work. But I might consider using Hugging Face because they've got higher limits. So I might just switch this concept over to Hugging Face, because it doesn't really matter where you get it from as long as you can bloody get it. And then what will happen is this will be a script that pulls it from Hugging Face instead. So it's not the end of the road. It's just a, you know what we say around here? Side quests. There are so many. Let me see now. Refresh. Are there any extras? No, there are no extras. There's just the stuff that they just put up. The dev and the dev FP8. See, the FP8 is 15. See, the full fat is actually 28.6. You have to run it in the cloud. You could run it on a 5090 though. Remember, everyone was saying, oh, 5090, what's the point? Here's one. You can run it on a 5090 native. But if you have a 4090, you have to run the FP8. Not the end of the world, because I bet there isn't really much difference in terms of quality, but it's worth pointing out that it might be the case that now they aim for under 30, not under 24, because, you know, there's going to be people that can run it locally at that size, so you can't really complain, you know what I mean? I still think the 2 billion is really nice though, because obviously that runs on almost nothing. And I never checked out the distilled version of 9.6 either. I never checked that one out. Because look at it. Oh wait, there, 6.34 gigabyte. Is that? Do you reckon it's got to be FP8, right? Makes you wonder if there's a quant for this. You got any? Hey, you got any quants? Let's have a look. Calculus 097 dev. Oh, Ujajuff in 097. I was looking at 096 for 096 distilled. There's another one. It looks like there was an 096 dev. That's interesting. City 96 did the 096 distilled. Let's have a look at that. Whoa! Everyone's trying to hit me up. Stop it. Spamming. Sheesh. That would be the Eric's getting me in trouble. Right. Drag model to diffusion models. Drag T55 to text encoders. Drag pig to VAE. This is interesting. It's got a different VAE. Okay, and what are we talking about? Ooh, look at that. 2-bit down to 5 gigs. That's crazy for 097. That's crazy. So let's look at the 097 version. What? No. No. I could run Q8 on a laptop? Right, that's it. No. You can't run Q8 on a laptop because you've got to run all of the clip and the VAE and all the rest of it. Could offload it to CPU. Screw it. I'm doing it. I want to see how long it takes to generate. Hang on. Opening up machine number 2. Right. That's crazy. I don't care if it's the last version. Freaking 2 gigabytes for a video model. If you can offload it to CPU, right. I bet this won't work, but we're going to give it a blast. Okay. Monitor of GPU turning off. Yeah. That's because I was on battery power. Okay, so we killed it. And City 96 is the man. City 96. Yes, my friend. Unbelievable. So 096 distilled. So that'll probably be some kind of record. For, like I said, because a Q8 at 2 gigabytes is just crazy. Take that out. Oh, wait a minute. Cancel it. Wait. Cancel. I need to put it directly into... Where's it go? Diffusion models. No. Yeah. Diffusion models. So save it directly to diffusion models. So basically I'm just on the other machine. It's not... I'm not far away, guys. Don't worry. I haven't got anywhere. I'm just trying to set this up. I'll probably switch over to this machine in a second so you can see what I'm doing. So we want to go ComfyUI, we want to go models, we want to go diffusion models, we want to save that one in there. And then the next thing we're going to need is... I didn't expect this. This is a nice little surprise. So text encoders, safe taints as GGUF. No way, it's the GGUF text encoder as well. That's crazy. Oh man. So wait. So how much is that? Wait. Okay, hang on a sec. Right, hang on a sec. This is crazy. Look at this. The GGUF. We get the GGUF text encoder, which usually is 10 gigabytes. So my laptop would be completely out of the game. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the Q4KS, which is 2.74 gigabytes, which is a crazy reduction from 20. I mean, I know you can go smaller, like you could do Q4, yeah, well, Q4KM is actually one of the smallest. Like, yeah, this, I thought S was small, whatever, we're gonna get that one. So Q4KM, save link as, and I'm gonna want to put that one into back models, text encoders, models. If I'm gonna end, this is gonna be crazy. I can't video. No, you can't. I can't even generate images with Flux on this machine. There's no way. There's just no way. Okay. Back again. And then finally the VAE. It turns out it's a 20 gigabyte VAE. No. I don't even have a lot of system RAM on this, so UNet loader for GGUF. Yeah, I know. I think I got all that stuff. Well, I should do. So yeah, 2.49 gigabytes. Download it, save as, put it in the VAE. This is crazy. Wait a minute, what? VAE? Oh, okay. There's what's good? Where's the GGUF VAE, guys? We can make that smaller too. That's crazy. Okay, right. So City 96 distilled. This can be used with ComfyUI within the GGUF custom node. Replace the following models in the following thingy-boobs. Okay. VAE is largely the same as 095. Negligible difference, but I uploaded the 096 to this one. This is quantized. Do. All right. That's nuts. Right. I'm going to just do a little bit of a... I've just got to go down under the table and swap some cables around. One second. Ooh. Not much room down there. Right. Yeah. Here we go. Oh no, I forgot to take the anime site down. I'm joking. It hasn't changed though. Oh, that's weird. I wonder why it didn't change. I think it must be sleeping. Boop. And then custom. Yep, that's correct. Okay. So then, say hello everyone. Okay. Just wanted to say hello to the Singularity real quick. Now, what have we got? We got this, and it works allegedly. So, I mean, I don't even think I've even tried to use a, I've never tried to generate video on this because it's got 4 gigabytes of VRAM. Why would you, you know? But let's check it out, I guess. So here we go, same style as usual. I think I can come up from under the desk now. Right. So anyway, we continue on the laptop to see what we can see. Where's my audio? Oh crap. Fell on my head. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, there we go. Just yanked the cable out. Right. Oh no, they're still using the black and white SVG. The thing is, their logo is blue and yellow, which looks much nicer. Okay, let's just kill this. Have we opened it yet? No. So I'm gonna need the workflow for... Wait, I don't have any workflows? Damn it. Right then, let's get some workflows. We're gonna need the LTX. So that's Zoda native. 096 is probably the best bet. So I reckon 095 native. So that was the previous version, not the new 13 billion. It's still 2 billion parameters. So we got native, image to video native 225. And then text to video as well. I think they might just be trying to, like, you know, hit the tags and say it's image to video when it can do both. But I'm going to grab the image to video native LoRa. No, we don't need LoRa. So IP2V, just I2V. Save that. IP is just image prompt, not IP adapter. I don't have any of those data sets on this machine. So let's grab this guy, put him in there. Oh, uh-oh. I'm missing the SVG bit. But that's actually okay. You can disable that and run it without it. So, shush you. Right, so first things first, we're not using the GGUF. So let's go full screen. It's already small enough anyway. Right. So what do we got? We got a GGUF clip. GGUF unit, and then a GGUF clip loader. Okay, and then we want a VAE loader as well. Load VAE, and we probably want to do the force. Do I have force on here? Yep, force clip, and then because I don't have it. I've only got 4 GB of RAM, so it's like if that doesn't work, this won't work. So you got LTX video there. It's on CPU. Just shift, click and drag to move things around like that. So I'm just gonna minimize it and put it there. You know what it is. We're gonna go clip into there and then move this with a shift click as well. Minimize that guy and put him underneath. Obviously we've got our Q4KM in place, and then shift click on the model. Oh my god, that's not what I did there. Lag. Alright, kill that. Flux Light 8B Alpha. Wow, what's that? I don't even think. Maybe it runs. I never tried it. Distilled Q8. There it is. If this works, I'll be quite surprised. Because, you know, video on a 4 GB graphics card? Surely not. Surely I've got to turn my, you know, reduce the dimensions or something, right? Wrong one. I need to move that. And then I can just plonk these guys back there, put the group switch up here, and move him back. There's a gap now. I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Right. So this would be 096 GGUF. This is going to be like a low. What's this say? The drone quickly rises through a bank of morning fog. I don't think it's going to be that, but Napoleonic Army. Right. So how about we change this prompt to minutes? A lone hussar riding on horseback. I don't know. I can't just change it just like that. I need to do better. Okay. Okay. A lone hussar marches on horseback. If that's even possible, good luck. Hearse. It's a hearse. Horseback. Rising through a bank of morning fog, revealing an ampling lake, revealing a desert landscape. Camera glides forward across the dunes, capturing nothing. As it continues, perspective shifts to reveal the journey of the horse rider. Oh my gosh, it's completely scuffed, but it's okay, because it might not even run. How many frames are we going for, guys? I say 500. Oh my god, I actually have got it set up for 249. Let's go for 33 first and see if we can get like 1 second out of it, you know? It is also set up for 1280 by 736. So I'm actually going to change that to 832 by 480, which is roughly half, but not really. It should probably be a bit smaller. Yeah, let's go to 640 by 480 and just run with that. Again, it's hard. I usually use math to just figure that out, so it's perfect, but for the sake of this, yeah, okay, let's just see if this works, because this will be a nice way to top it off tonight. Go! Let's get the stats. Surely it will explode. Surely it will explode. GPU. See, no lies, 4 gigs. That's it. No tricks. Let's get the console up as well so we can see what that's doing too. CPU is bussing at 1.8 gigahertz. So again, you know, we're not running a flagship here. We're just running a mid-range laptop. Mid-range laptop, because it actually has a graphics card, but it's only 4 gigabytes. You see what I'm saying? I don't believe it. Loaded, it says loaded completely, guys. I don't believe it. Okay, it hasn't gotten out of the woods yet. Until we see a timer and it actually doing steps, I remain unconvinced of this sorcery, this dark sorcery. What's that? Right click on the CPU graph and select virtual CPU. I can't do that. Virtual CPU, change graph to single. I got single engine, multiple engines. Single engine, multiple engines. Ah, right, hang on. Copy, you want it to be what? Virtual CPU. There's a bunch of stuff here, but I don't see anything for that. You have to be on CPU. Okay. CPU, change graph to overall logical. I don't see that option, bro. Sorry. If there's something obvious, I don't see it. Logical processors, maybe? Logical, is that what you meant? Logical? I've done that. Oh, loaded completely. We loaded the VAE, guys. So I've got it on tiling as well, so it uses less VRAM, allegedly. That was the old efficiency thing. So what does it say? 20% utilization. That's barely, it's barely 12 CPUs. Yeah, I know, right? Look, if you're going to buy a new computer, you've got to get the i7, guys. I mean, come on, like, you could just get an i7 from the previous year. There's no point. I don't know why i5s exist. I think it's for, like, server architecture, where they need more than dual, but they don't have the budget for the i7. I've never had an i9. I always wonder whether they're worth getting, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? I don't know anybody that's got one. So I, you know. Is anybody in the chat got an i9 CPU? No, doesn't sound like it. I'll give some time. You never know. Maybe there's one here. But yeah, like I said, this is an i7 1255U. It's running 2 gigahertz now. Look at that bad boy. He's like automatically clocked himself a little bit up to 2.2. We started at 1.8. So he's clearly gone into high gear. He hasn't actually started making the video yet though, so this is kind of funny. We're going to ride this out, see what happens. No AVX support. What? An i7 with no virtualization? Dragon Diffusion says i7 and i9, are they made from the same die? Good question. I don't know the answer to that. Should we ask Claude? He'll probably know. Hey, Claude. Oh, actually, wait. Let's ask Gemini because it's more interactive. Hang on. Come on now. What the heck is that? Deep research in Gemini. Okay. Turn your volume up. All right, calm down. He was like, you won't be able to hear me, bro. Okay. Hey, Gemini, what can you tell me about the i7 and the i9 dies? Are they still cut from the same Silicon.
That's a good question. It's a bit of a tricky one, but basically, Intel uses a process called binning, where they test all the chips they make. Some chips perform better than others, and those get classified as i9s, while the slightly less powerful ones become is7s. So they start from the same silicon, but end up different based on their performance. Does that make sense?
So in other words, it's what I said ages ago about GPUs, they still do it, yeah. Yep. And that's why sometimes you'll see people in India and China getting a binned GPU and then getting good chips and like sketchily soldering it all together and somehow it works, yeah? Because technically you can do that, it's just not a long-term solution. The heat will kill the component from doing stuff like that. So it'll work, and it might even work for a while, but it's not going to work like it should. Like years. You're not going to get years of uninterrupted use from that. It's going to be problems and weird. But I have seen some stuff like that, you know, where they just like put two GPUs together kind of deal and just kind of like just kind of make it work. It's like, yeah, you can do that, but it's not a good idea at all. Unless you are professional, right? And then you can do what you want. Okay. Where are we on this? I feel like we're not even using the GPU. We're just doing it all on... I think we're doing it... Are we... CUDA 0? No. It does have it. Let me scroll up. It should say here, look. Look at this. NVIDIA GTX 2050. 4096 megabytes of VRAM. And do you know, wait, what? Required text is missing. What? What text? What? Oh, that, don't worry about it. It's just a show text. That doesn't matter. So it says it's loaded everything, and he says he's on this part, which isn't the main sampler. It's doing the conditioning right now, I think. So it says GJF types Q4 and F32 and Q6, which they don't match. I'm not sure if that matters. I've never used the GGUF clip before. F32 is fine though. Load Mochi text encoder model. That's kind of funny as well. Anybody remember Mochi? That was a great model when it came out. Load completely. True. Release Nmap. Load VAE. Loaded completely. True. So I don't remember if we get another release Nmap before it starts the encoder. Now look, is it slow? Yes. Has it crashed? Not yet. So, I mean, I have no idea if it's gonna figure it out, but oh, GPU stuff is happening. Something happened. I saw things happen. I'm just going to disappear while it's doing its thing here. I've been stood up for like 2 hours. Like the stream, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out tonight. Consider subscribing. We're here every day from 8 o'clock until 10 p.m. minimum. Some days I randomly start at 3:30 on a Sunday, like yesterday. But we mostly do it to bamboozle the transcription bots, because they can't do long form yet. Although we did actually solve doing it like open source, but you have to actually segment it, you know, so it turns into a big batch job. What's that? Charged for an AI to watch your files in bulk storage. What a brilliant service. That's interesting. Ah, you guys are talking about OneDrive. I hate OneDrive. I actually uninstall it with a vengeance. If I see OneDrive, I uninstall it. The biggest problem I have with OneDrive is that users accidentally somehow end up using their entire documents folder in OneDrive only. So their documents, pictures, music, video, all that is actually in a OneDrive. So it's like it says user OneDrive documents, yeah? And then what happens is their internet's crap. So every time they try to do anything, it's buffering. Like imagine just opening a file on your computer and it's buffering. Why? Their hard drive's empty. It blows my mind every time. Like there is the odd case where a computer has died and they reinstall the computer and all their stuff is just there, and in that case that's cool, but it shouldn't be like the primary read-write area. It should be like a backup copy. It shouldn't be like, do you know what I mean? Like what, I gotta activate offline use on my laptop? Weird. Like I've never had it like that, but I do see a lot of clients who somehow manage to get their home folder in OneDrive. And I swear that OneDrive does it to them. Like they said yes and it did it or something. Because there's no way they all do it by accident. Have we even started yet? Oh. No, it's done nothing. It's not even really started yet. Oh. Okay, we might have an issue. We might have a slight itty bitty problem. I've only got 16 gigabytes of RAM and we're nearly up to 14. Wait a minute. I've got 22 gig. But wait, that doesn't make sense because it should have said loaded partially. So what's going on? Compressed memory. So I've committed 29.8 gigabytes, but I've actually compressed it down to 13.5. Okay. Learn something every day. I was not aware of RAM compression on this system. Something tells me this could be taking a while. How long has it been running for so far? 10 minutes? Yeah, at least. So anyway, I'll get back to you on the results of this when it finishes next week. No, I'm joking. I'm just kidding, guys. We'll give it another little minute here. You know, what else was I wanted to... I just want to make sure I covered everything. I think I covered everything. This sort of Q8, Q4, whatever, Guguff, LTX, that was a bonus. So I think I've looked at everything. Comfy workflows, Writers Club, chill out with AI projects. Yeah. We looked at the writer stuff early on in the stream when I announced that I've been resurrecting a bunch of old books that we wrote with AI earlier on this year because I changed over machines. So I've been like extracting all that work off and then putting it up into Gits. And then obviously the narrative buckets have come out as well. If you don't know what a narrative bucket is, it's really simple. You download it, you put it into a project, you write the final page of a story, which involves the characters in the bucket, and then you tell him to write this story backwards. You do 6 pages backwards using the hero's journey, and you will have a very unique book. Now, obviously, you can plan it all out, chapter, but it's fun when you're learning this kind of technique to just let her rip, just see what happens. And the funniest part about it is you can kind of say, oh, Joe robbed the bank and now he's in jail. Write it backwards, it'll give you a bank heist. Because obviously at some point he tries to rob a bank and gets caught. Fernicar said, all of the books used narrative spittoon. I asked LLM and it confirmed. That's a clever trick. Yeah, they do. The reason is simple. It's because it's you're segmenting temporally and then inverting the forward prediction. So it's built for this. When you go forwards into infinity, there's nothing there. It's a bridge to nowhere. But when you're building small bridges backwards, you're just going from like one support column to the next. And we actually proved with Choose Your Own Adventure and with the Sharona book that you can actually plan everything out. Like, you can micromanage every little thing. So it becomes more like a stage play with a programmable video game world. And then you get to just put cameras and let things play out. That's pretty much the best way. It's not really like writing a book like it used to. Like, it's not like writing a book at all. It's more like a theatre or a stage play. But the fidelity is so high that it matches what you would expect. So it's almost like camouflage. It like pretends to be a book so well that it elevates to that level. But you have to do a lot of draft editing for these sorts of stories. Because he'll do things like, say, concentric rings in every chapter for no reason. You know, somehow concentric rings, the model has like a favorite breakfast. And he'll eat breakfast every day. And you'll see in the output, oh, there it is again. And you'll only really notice it if you've ever drafted, like, if you've ever written a book and drafted a book, you will have enough experience to be like, ha, look, he's doing it again. There are things that the LLMs do to cheat, to make pad out stories. Fernicar said, I said, surely someone already packed all that theory in before. It says the concept wasn't packed in one method. In other words, because but therefore didn't knew each other until Spittoon Party. Yeah, it's possible that was never trained. The because but therefore is in a masterclass from the creators of South Park. That's where I got it from. You know, I basically distilled Director's Masterclass by Trey and Matt from South Park, and they explained it in there that and then is lazy story writing, and that's what the AI will do. But if you train him to say because but therefore, and then I did what I flipped was I said do it backwards, so therefore but because. Oh no, oh no, it's gone into screen. It went into power saver mode, guys. And then it spiked the CPU as well. Turn that off. It's on power mode. Why does it even turn the screen off? Oh, look, everything spiked when it went from sleeping. Like when the power turned off the screen, suddenly it peaked everything. Maybe I should let the screen turn off and it'll run faster. Okay, it's been another 10 minutes. I'm starting to think that maybe this isn't a thing. It hasn't even started yet. But then again, if you wanted to run this on pure CPU, it is acting like it's running on pure CPU right now. Because the GPU is basically not being utilized yet. Oh, man. So, rated possible, but extremely slow. Like, I don't want to fill up the last half hour of the stream with this. So, I will update you on whether they're actually... Because this is ridiculous. Right, alright, right. That's it. We've had enough. Ugh. Connect the things like Back to the Future down here, I swear. Connecting cables. 1.21 gigawatts. Oh, Jesus. Swinging from the clock tower up here. Okay. It hasn't changed, by the way. It hasn't changed. It's made... There's been no change. Yeah, what I'll probably do is actually cancel this because I'm going home to go to bed. But I will run it and see if it can figure itself out. Because I've got everything I need. I'll just let it run for an hour and see if it actually gets anywhere. Because I would love to know the answer. Because if you can run freaking LTX on a 4 gig graphics card, that's pretty insane, actually. Okay. That's it, guys. Show's over. I'm getting out of here. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Look forward to seeing you all. Thanks to everybody for coming in and showing up and liking the stream. See you next time, guys.